Before we get into it, hello and welcome if you've never been to my channel before, seen any of my videos. I normally talk about crochet makes, all the yarny goodness, and whatever current projects I'm engaged in. As a matter of fact, I won't go straight into crochet today because although I haven't had a break, I needed a mental break from trying to design a pattern. So in my frustration, never thought I would say that, but I did, only because of the frustration of the yarn chaos. I decided to make some bracelets. So here at Marquita's Makes, I make more than just crochet. So one that I had made, and I'm gonna see if I can get this to focus. A lava stone here, but I also used wooden beads. So this is actually an aromatherapy bracelet. I love aromatherapy. You see, I'm burning aroma fume brick right now. Love it. So calming, so soothing. So if you're into aromatherapy or if you're into bracelet making, please leave me in the comments below what you've worked on recently. Do you like to work with glass beads? Do you like to work with wood? Do you incorporate beads in your crochet? If you crochet or knit, please let me know in the comments below. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. So you see that there's wood, and I didn't mention that these are shells, natural shells. And here, the charm says Beach Girl. I don't know if it's going to reflect the right way, but I'm really, really happy with it. Now, that's just one. To complement this bracelet, I just used the same color and look of beads to make it a stacker. And I love stacker jewelry. You would think that it's all one piece when you actually put it on. And another that I made, I love my gemstones. Love them so much. And this particular one, it's just plain, nothing special. Nothing special added to it because it's pretty special to me. It's rhodonite. And I love how that turned out. Mookaite is another one. I mean, in my opinion, there was just so much color going on. There was really no need for charms. I mean, and if you can see the shine from how it's cut, it just held enough on its own. This is actually a bracelet that's a little bit older that I created, and I did have a charm on it and decided to take it off because I liked how it looked here. But two, I've added some lava stones, lava beads, and you just drop your essential oils there, and it's wonderful. Oh, and I left this one out. On days when I want to really stack them, I actually have 4. So, I've still been crafty and still been making. But that was a nice stress relief breather. Oh, and speaking of, my friend Danielle gifted me with this wonderful essential oil called Aroma. It smells, if you're familiar with Young Living, I know their Thieves is really popular, but this Pure Armor scent by, I think it's by Melaluca, and I used to purchase many things from them years ago. There's anything you need in your household, Melaleuca has a product for it that leans more towards natural ingredients. This is my favorite scent to use on my aromatherapy beads. Oh my goodness. Although it has that clean scent, it also has that crispness that I call a fall scent, where you know there's going to be that scent of, that familiar, that familiar scent of fall that comes with cinnamon oil, it comes with clove, rosemary, and that's that clean smell, that rosemary, eucalyptus, That's that lifting, also cleansing, like for your sinuses. Smell lemon and another form of eucalyptus. So this is an all natural product, and I am so thankful to her for gifting it. A little goes a really long way, because I've been using this for months now, and mind you, I'm using it all throughout the week, but on my particular beads, and some of them I found at JoAnn's and some of them I found on Etsy. The scent lasts so long. So it's really high grade, high quality. I'm so thankful for it. So Danielle, if you're watching this, I'm so thankful for it. It has been a lifesaver on days that I'm really stressed out. And speaking of stress relief, I really want to share with you guys a new tea that I found. The flavor is chai, and the company is the Black Leaf Tea. You guys, it's so good. And tea's one of those things that I take into consideration, and I incorporate it in my daily life. And I say consideration because there's a whole method and culture around tea, and it can be so relaxing to make, whether it's warm, whether it's hot. There's a whole art to tea, and I really enjoy just savoring the moment when making it. And it's one of those things very similar to crochet and crafting, that if you take your time, think about what you're doing in the moment, it can really help you to add little bitty bits of joy here and there throughout the day, especially when you're stressed. It's something very nice that you can stop and enjoy the process and think about not just what you need to do, not how many hats you're wearing, but just the moment. Just the moment, just the flavors, just things, these small things you can be grateful for. So, I mentioned that this week has not been the best week for me, but one thing that I've always been able to have, and that's tea. And it's always a joy to have. So maybe you'll like this chai recipe. I'll put the list of ingredients in below and the link to the tea shop as well. Yes, so lately I've been having a lot of those moments where I need to take a deep breath and exhale. And although crochet has been a form of therapy for me, I have really been struggling with my makes. And if you have watched a few of my videos, a few back, more recent episodes, you know that I adore Knit Collage's new release of their Harley sweater. So I really want to recreate it, but it was made using the method called entrelac. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And although if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen where I've been trying my hand at entrelac. But entrelac crochet is a bit different than entrelac knit. And although it's still very pretty, I want more of the crisscross look of the Harley sweater. So I have remade my imposter sweater almost completely through 3 times. 3 times. And I'm not going to give up. But I was so down about it. I was just so down about it because in my mind I just knew exactly what I need to do, but I just couldn't produce it. So through some trial and error, so far what I decided to do was very similar to what I did when I made the Harry Styles cardigan, but a little different. With the Harry Styles cardigan, I don't think I used many of these type of stitches. This is, if you're not familiar, I used Tunisian crochet knit stitch. And I was actually able to use it with, let me see, my furls. I know, I used a furl swirl. You guys should see all the yarn I'm pulling out. I'm just going to show you the bag. So this is the bag that I am using currently to hold, and yes, it's filled to the top because I want it to be a very chunky sweater. This is the bag I'm currently using to hold the yarns. I got a little extra to show you too. The yarns for the sweater, but I may clip some of this out. I can't find my hook. Let's see if I put it away here. I did. I was a good girl. And I put my hook away. Actually, you know what? I'll share this. I bought this hook holder on Mercari. I don't know if you're familiar with Mercari, but Mercari is very similar to eBay, where you can easily post and sell, where there are a lot of makers on Mercari. And one maker, she's a seamstress, she makes crochet hook holders. So with this yarn, I've actually been using my furl swirl to the Tunisian crochet method. I know, because swirls hooks are fairly long. See? So it worked out just great. And two, I love that larger, bigger grip, and I'm using an end hook. I have quite a few of swirls hooks, and they are one of my favorite hooks depending on the project that I'm using. But I really love the swirls with acrylics, which I didn't think I would, because with some plasticky like hooks, I'll just leave that there. Some plastic like hooks, they kind of make a squeaky sound, but not so much with furls. So, and it's really easy glide, slips in and out, and how do you pronounce it? Ergonomic shape to it. So my hand is open and not clenched so hard, and that's another reason why I like it so much. Please excuse my nails. But anyway, so what I decided to do, because I am dreading weaving in the ends. Am I alone? I've heard off and on some people enjoy weaving in the ends. I don't. So what I did was I actually started with this middle piece, and I just did the Tunisian knit stitch, and then I reattached yarn here and worked in the other direction. Same thing here, because as you've seen in the Harley sweater, it's like a knit stitch. I don't know much about knit, but I think it's probably called the same thing. Now, I mentioned that I'm using JoAnn's Buttercream yarns. I'm getting away from acrylics because in this southern heat, it's like I'm almost in a plastic bag. So I actually found this, and it's actually Buttercream Luxe Craft Cozy Yarn. 87 yards, 50% superwash merino. I know. 45% acrylic, and 5% viscose. So I shared the different colors with you before, but guess what I decided? And hopefully when I actually get started with this project, those of you that work with chunky yarns, it'll go pretty fast. And when I say started with this project, I mean this being the final time that I start this sweater and don't stop. So, do you remember when I mentioned reusing yarns? Does this look familiar? So, I noticed on the Harley sweater, there are more colors than the 3 that I was using there. So, I decided to take those huge balls of yarn that I had and half them, double them so that they'll match the consistency, the texture, the weight of the Buttercream Cozy Yarn. Well, they should, because I did sort of a test. The weight of the Buttercream Cozy Yarn. You guys, and I really like this yarn. I hope we see something like this again at JoAnn's. Unfortunately, some of these I found on clearance. I mean, fortunate for me, but unfortunately, we won't be seeing them again, and they are awesome yarns. It's one of those where I looked over it because I just assumed it was acrylic when I saw it, and I just did. And it kind of has that, not necessarily really a halo, but you know, I'm not a fan of the halo. I'm trying to see if you can see it. You see it here? It does have a little bit of the halo, but really not enough to bother me so much. And I think after I wash it and dry it, that look will go, and glean it, that look would go away. So yeah, I think I'm loving the yarn. So these colors should work out well. I cannot wait to show my updates for the Queenie Crochet MAL. If you guys have been following me, I mentioned before that Queenie Crochet, the owner of Queenie Crochet is Tracy, and she is currently hosting a MAL from May to June, and so that's why I'm working on sweaters right now. My previous sweaters were not working out. I was using the Kobu for the All About Ami Rosewood, and you guys, it was just an epic fail. I'm still so disappointed, and it's my fault because I wanted it to work, and so I didn't buy, at the time that I purchased the yarn, I didn't buy all of the colored tan that I needed because I wasn't for sure at the time what I was going to make with it. So when I found Stephanie of All About Ami's pattern, I then started to collect tan colored yarn. And the colors are just different dye lots all over the place. Big disappointment, not to mention it's very splitty. So I got very overwhelmed and frustrated with it. The color, it just had to be a solid. What I had in mind, it had to be a solid. I did not want a fade of tan. No. So what I decided to do was sell my yarn, put that cardigan on the back burner. I was going to pick up the Lion brand, I purchased the Lion brand, the half and half comfy cotton. It's half acrylic, half 50% acrylic, 50% cotton, which I can work with, you know, I don't get overheated in it. And see if it would work out with either the All About Ami Rosewood cardigan or even the Brianna K's Valencia sweater. And right now I just want to do the Harley sweater. So I'm really sorry you guys, I don't have any updates on that. Neither one of those patterns were working out for me. The yarns weren't working out because I couldn't produce with the Rosewood cardigan, and I just don't have the right yarn for Brianna K's, and I can't use what she recommended because that beautiful Lion brand jean yarn is discontinued, at least the color that I'd like to make it in. And it's not at my local JoAnn's. I know it's discontinued at my local JoAnn's. If I can find it online, I'm really not even that encouraged to do it, because if I can't get it all enough quantity, a sweater quantity worth from the same dye lot, I'm just going to go through the same thing again that I went through with All About Ami's pattern with the Kobu. I'm sticking to this. I have enough yarn, so hopefully I'll be able to produce for you guys a look of the Harley sweater. Not the exact same thing. I still haven't found a pattern for it, so it's kind of my imposter sweater. But Knit Collage, if they were to make a crochet version of it, I would definitely purchase it from them. But I really want to go with the look of the entrelac, the crisscross entrelac. It won't be exactly like Knit Collage's, of course, but I want that same look, the same stitch. Like, let's hope this works out. Especially so I can have something to encourage others with, going with the flow of the make along. I'm so disappointed. That's been 3 projects, 3, and I'm not used to that. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Let me know in the comments below if you decided to join Tracy in her MAL, her Queenie Crochet. You can actually find it #QC. Is that right? Yes, #QC sweater MAL on Instagram, and you're going to see some great work. I know I really have. So that's where I am. You should see all the yarn. That's where I am here with this. And that makes me think, I started this channel, and I mentioned it to you guys before, because I really want to connect with the community. But at the same time, I feel an obligation to deliver really good content to you guys. Make your time and watching my channel worth watching, and not producing and having something for you to see that's completed, made, was such a big deal to me that I got really down about making my next video, and because I hadn't completed the sweater. But then I had to sit back and reflect on why I'm making. I'm making to create. I'm making as a form of expression. I'm making crocheting to find enjoyment in a craft and express myself. And you should never feel burdened for having a hobby or engaging in a craft. Like, why? I don't know why I was doing that to myself. Like, I'm not sure if you've been in that same type of predicament or heard something similar, but don't do that to yourself. Enjoy your craft. Crafting is for stress relief, you know? Let it all hang out in your creativity. If it's not working, come back to it later. But I'm not gonna lie, I was so frustrated not being able to get my projects done. But as I mentioned, I had to really sit down and reflect and realize it's okay. It's like Tracy, Queenie Crochet, she's saying whether you finish your project or not, however it goes, we just want to build that camaraderie. We just want to have that friendship. We just want to be engaged with each other and encourage each other. So Tracy, thank you so much for those reminders, and I am enjoying joining the cow. I cannot wait until the next Zoom meeting to see you guys. I'm so excited about it. I love crafting, you guys. So, I mentioned before, I would love to know what you guys are working on right now. I haven't started that summer poncho for my mom yet. I was going to wait a little bit longer to do that. And I got so wrapped up in my crafting fails, my crochet fails, that I didn't even, or so I was thinking was a fail, that I didn't even think of considering picking up another yarn. But you know what? I probably would have felt a lot better working on it, especially with it being a pretty quick make because it's going to be so open. And that makes me think of something too. So my mom wanted me to make the crochet poncho inspired by Aretha Franklin. No problem. No problem. But have you guys been asked to make something for someone and, forgive me for saying this, and didn't think that they were HMG worthy? And what I mean is, like, homemade gift worthy? I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. It takes a lot of time to make yarn fiber related gifts, and I don't think everybody's worthy of it. And I just say that to say told you I was gonna be honest. I just say that to say that when someone usually asks me if I would make something, my first answer usually is yes, if I can, and sure, if you bring me the yarn. I even offer if it's like, if it's local, you know, I'll even go with you. I'll send you websites. Because you guys, as I mentioned, look at all that I was going through to get the sweater together. And I'm just saying, I mean, like I mentioned before, is it just me? But look at all I'm going through to create this sweater. And I'm not just making this just for me. If I can get this down, this will be a sweater I make for my daughters. It may be a sweater that I make for my sister, my friends. I love to gift. But I'm realizing all that heart that we put into things, some people aren't homemade gift worthy. They're not. Especially if you notice they're not wearing it. I don't want to see my work on the ground. I don't want to see it tucked off halfway in the seat of the back of your car or in your trunk. Like, you guys, don't feel bad. Not everyone is homemade gift worthy. it's okay to say, I won't be able to. If you don't want to say no, you can say, I won't be able to. I'm not sure if I have the time for it. But if you would like to pick out the yarn and give me the yarn and set a certain amount of time to give them, then sure. But I've seen people in the stores just grabbing and grabbing and grabbing. I was like, I'm going to make this person this, I'm going to make that person that, this and that and that. And I used to be that person. I don't know if you're that person, but I used to be that person, especially after I started to make things and they weren't worn. They weren't appreciated. So I don't do it anymore. I don't feel bad. But I do love to make, and I will make things even no charge. Especially if you bring me the yarn. Especially if you buy the pattern. And your family and friends. I mean, I mentioned before, I'm not crafting to make a living. I'm crafting for the joy of it. But there is no joy when all your hard work is viewed as trash to somebody else. It's just not. But anyways, I wasn't going to be very long today. Those are just my thoughts, my rants, my raves, my shortcomings from this past week or so. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope to be able to share more with you later. And you know, I would like to hear what you would like to see in my episodes as well. I mentioned from time to time different types of yarn I have, hooks I have, stitch markers I've purchased, but I would really like to know what you guys would like to see. Would you like to see more than yarn, more than stickers? Because from time to time I do buy Happy Planner products. There's other things that I am interested in, but I'm not sure what you're interested in. I love teas and gemstones. Let me know, what would you like to see more of? But until next time, friends, y'all take care. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.